Hello, my name is Natalie Oyagi, and in this video I will be discussing an interesting edge case scenario of the pause function called pause buffering. The edge case here refers to the pause mechanic and the intentional use of it in a way not considered by the game's designer, like we see in Mario 64 shown here. Pause buffering is used in all sorts of games, but for this study I'm going to be detailing how the feature is used in Megaman 2, which came out for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988 by Capcom. In the case of pause buffering, players take advantage of inner frames, also known as iframes, and the execution order listed in the code to cause interesting behaviors within the game's logic. This is not to be confused with invincibility frames, which are intentional damage delays placed within the code and also called iframes. This is best showcased when Megaman gets hit and you see the blinking animation that shows the time delay. With this edge case, players purposely take damage to avoid certain death, like we see here in Heatman's stage and how this player purposely gets hit to not be killed in the lava. Now that we know the difference between the two iframes, let's talk about the pause buffer and what are inner frames. In Mega Man 2, the pause function also displays the weapon and inventory menu. This menu allows the player to pick different weapons, use E-tanks, and see important information regarding weapon energy and the lives left to the player. By initiating the pause function, the ongoing list of sequence and commands are interrupted, sending instruction to give the pause menu maximum priority in the execution order. This stops the game's current execution order and places it in a loop, which will run until it detects another input that is accepted, such as unpausing. The frozen state displays a single frame. All active game objects, mechanics, features, and execution orders are stopped in their current order and has all their execution orders refiled from max to min. The unused and partially updated frames are called the delta frames. These are an integral part of the inner frames we mentioned earlier, which is a further breakdown of a render frame. To create a pause buffer, you would press the pause function in a timed interval coinciding with the reinitialization of the game state. If timed properly, you can confuse the keyframe into thinking it missed an update within the delta frames. The set of keyframes and delta frames are the inner frames. This allows inputs like direction to be prioritized within the game state's update in the execution order. This in turn will update the next keyframe. If the pause is instantiated while falling, another peculiar thing happens, where the player's physics are prioritized in the execution order but is reset to default state. We know it defaults to 0 and not 1 because his descent is slowed considerably when reinitialized. The benefit of resetting the fall velocity to 0 allows for jumps across greater gaps, and also helps diminish knockback received from enemies. Let's see how this combination of edge cases are used in gameplay. Here we see this player take advantage of the edge case in conjunction with inner frame abuse, which can cause very interesting effects, like this zip here in Wily 4. Here we see Megaman take advantage of the flyboy and fall into the spike pit. Then using the item 1 to glitch into the ceiling, he presses left. Megaman is then ejected out the right wall. By pausing the game at the proper moment, Megaman's falling velocity is reset to 0, allowing him to grab the ladder. The intuitive use of pause makes the pause buffer an ideal mechanic in a professional circuit such as Speedgaming. In these professional circuits, players use the combination of edge case mechanics in an intuitive manner, showcasing the amazing things a player can do to avoid getting hit or killed in a game known to be NES hard. Hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.